Hello everyone, welcome to the channel TutorBox. In today's class, I am going to discuss about part 2 of ICH guideline of pharmacovigilance and particularly organization and operation. In part 1, we discussed the how many members in ICH, what is ICH secretariat and various working group of ICH. Now we are discussing in this lecture about the ICH operation, steps in ICH process and ICH topics. Okay, so before moving forward, I'm just requesting you all that those who have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel as well as hit the bell icon. And you all know that at the end of every lecture we have a 5 MCQ, so solve these 5 MCQ and give the answer in comment box and see description box for the notes of this lecture. Okay, so now just look at this. What is ICH operation? Okay, so ICH operate particularly by steering committee. Okay, so we discussed that various ICH steering committee and ICH coordinators and secretariat. Okay, so among them there is a steering committee through which ICH operate. मीन्स ICH का जो भी फंक्शनिंग है वो कौन करता है? स्टीयरिंग कमिटी करती है. एंड दिस स्टीयरिंग कमिटी मीट्स ट्वाइस इन अ ईयर. ओके, so 2 times in a year it meets. Okay, and what they are discussing? So they are discussing various topics. So among them the discussion of the new topic for the adoption, means कौन सा नया topic हमें लेना है further guideline बनाने के लिए. So they discuss these points in their meetings. Okay, then they also review of existing topic progress report. So in last meeting if they finalize a guideline, then in the next meeting they discuss whether these guidelines are implemented or not implemented, and they discuss the progress report of earlier past guidelines. Clear? Then they also discuss the maintenance and implementation of the guideline. Means if there is the requirement of any changes in the guideline, as well as how the guidelines are implemented or not implemented, and what are the problem faced by the guideline in the implementation. So all these points are discussed in their meeting, which are held twice in a year. Okay, and for these meeting ICH secretariat and coordinators provide administrative support. Okay, so by their administrative support, steering committee are in the position to hold the meetings. Clear everyone? Now just look at here, what are the steps in ICH process? Means here we discuss about the finalization of guideline, how ICH are finalizing the guidelines. Clear everyone? So first what they are doing, they first prepared the draft. Whenever they are preparing a guideline, so initially they are preparing the draft document, and this draft document is circulated through many revision. So ICH initially formed the draft. Okay, and this draft circulated among the members by many revision. So after doing many revision, okay, they finalize a final draft. So after many revision they form a final draft. Clear everyone? Now this final draft is signed by EWG. Okay, what is EWG? Expert working group. So expert working group read the final draft, and if they agree with this final draft, then they sign. And after their signing of draft, this draft is forwarded to the steering committee for the signing. Now further steering committee will sign this and forwarded it to the regulatory sponsors. So regulatory sponsor further initiate normal consultation process to receive the comments. So now this steering committee, what they do, whatever the draft they have prepared, they forward to regulatory bodies of 6 parties like Japan, European Union and US. All these 6 parties regulatory bodies will receive it, and then they initiate the normal consultation on the draft prepared by the ICH, and then they receive the comments. With these comments, it is forwarded to the steering committee again, and then steering committee if agree on the sufficient scientific consensus, because here regulatory bodies are doing good consensus, and then after doing well discussion, this draft is forwarded again to the steering committee, and then steering committee check all the comments of the regulatory body, and if they agree that the scientific consensus is good and it is a sufficient, then they affirming that the guideline recommended for the adoption by regulatory bodies of three reasons means European Union, Japan and America. Okay, so after proper scientific consensus, this guideline will recommended for adoption by regulatory bodies, and if the regulatory bodies are agree, then these now guidelines incorporated into the national and regional procedures. Okay, so after approval from these regulatory bodies, then these guidelines are now incorporated into the national or regional procedure. National means a particular region like Japan, European Union and America, and their regional procedure. According to their regional procedure, they will adopt the new guideline which are framed by the ICH. Okay, so this is the process how a new guideline is formed and how it is approved and how it will implement. Clear everyone? I hope you people are able to understand. So it is a very simple process, just their committee or their member, ICH members are finalizing their draft, they prepare the draft and then they forward to various 6 parties groups to check the revision and do their comments and do updates, and again this draft is returned by good consensus and then they approve. Clear everyone? Now just look at here various ICH topics. So on which topic ICH will discuss? So there are various topics, like ICH topics are like quality guidelines, safety guideline, efficacy guideline and multidisciplinary guidelines. So ICH particularly for pharmaceutical aspect, ICH is making guideline for quality guidelines, safety, efficacy and multidisciplinary. In particularly quality guideline, they look on the stability guidelines as well as impurity testing and good manufacturing practice risk management. In all these segment, they look after in the quality guideline. Then if we are talking about the safety guideline, then in the safety guideline, they make the guideline which uncover the potential risk of carcinogenicity, genotoxicity, reproductive toxicity. Okay, if there is a such kind of toxicity from any compound, so they form a guideline which uncover these kind of potential of the drugs, so that before approval of the drug we are able to identify these kind of adverse events. Then efficacy guidelines are very important, and efficacy for clinical trial, because efficacy in the preclinical setup as well as efficacy for the clinical setup, and clinical setup efficacy is very important. So they make the efficacy guideline for these reasons, all three parties means Japan, European Union and America. Then multidisciplinary guideline, and this multidisciplinary guidelines generally making what MedDRA, which we already discussed, medical dictionary, okay, for regulatory affairs and common technical document. And then ESTRI means electronic standard for transfer of regulatory information. For these kind of things, multidisciplinary guidelines are released by ICH. Okay, so these are the various, we can say, area in which ICH regularly doing its upgradations. Okay, then ICH has released various series and codes. Okay, like S series particularly for preclinical guidelines, so they are releasing S series. Then they are also releasing E series for efficacy guidelines for the clinical trials. Okay, so generally in examination question asked on the E series. Okay, so E series is divided into E1 and E2. Then E2 is further divided into E2A, E2B, E2C, E2D, E2E and E2F. Then E2B is divided into E2BR2 and E2BR3. Then E2C is further divided into E2CR1 and E2CR2. Clear? Now I am just giving you about the what is E1, what is E2. So now just look at here. E1 is about the extent of population exposed to assess clinical safety for drugs intended for long-term treatment of non-life threatening condition. Then E2A is for clinical safety data management. It contains about the definition and standard for expedited reporting. We will also discuss expedited reporting in the next lecture. Then E2B R2, it is about the maintenance of the clinical safety data management, including data element for transmission of individual case safety reports. Then E2B R3, it is for clinical safety data management and data elements for transmission of individual case safety reports. Then E2C R1, it is for clinical safety data management but about the periodic safety update reports for marketed drugs. Then E2C R2, it is for periodic benefit risk evaluation report, and E2D is for post approval safety data management. It includes definition and standard for expedited reporting. Then E2E is for pharmacovigilance planning and E2F is for development safety update reports. Clear everyone? So I hope you people are able to understand about the part second, in which we discuss the ICH operation and steps for the ICH process and various ICH topic and various codes of the various series. Here I discuss use some MCQ on this lecture. So solve these MCQ and give the answer in the comment box, as well as see the description box for the notes of the topic which I covered in this lecture. And if you think this lecture is useful, then share this lecture to more and more students. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.